Okay.
Kevin Burns from FoamingHead.com, and today I have a very special guest, David Yarrington, head brewer here at Smuttynose. We're on location at Smuttynose in beautiful New Hampshire. We have some beautiful weather, so Dave, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming up.
So, can you give our viewers maybe just a little background on Smuttynose, and then, you know, kind of when you came in and your history as a brewer?
Sure, yeah, easy enough. Smuttynose was founded in 1994. Peter Eggleston's the owner here. He had previously started, actually with his sister, the Northampton Brewery out in Western Mass in the sort of mid to late 80s. And then in the early 90s he started the Portsmouth Brewery here in town, brew pub here in town. And in 94 he ended up, this was actually a small brewery previous to Smuttynose that had failed. And Peter, along with the guys from Ipswich Brewing, which is now part of like Mercury Brewing, in the Ipswich, Mass area, did a joint venture. They bought the equipment and taken over the lease here. That joint venture didn't last too long for whatever reason, and so Peter ended up having this company on his own. And I came in, let's see, 2001.
Okay.
So they had gotten to a point where there were about 4,000 or 5,000 barrels, and they were running into you know, some quality issues, some cultural issues with the staff and the company, and that's about when Peter had me come in, not specifically to fix these things, but as an addition to the staff. But I had personally been brewing beer out west and for about 7 years, and had just gone back to school at UC Davis. He had recruited me out of there, and I managed to come in and you know, work through some of the quality issues and work through you know, some of the staffing issues, and to a point now where you know, we've got a great crew of people that's making just phenomenal beer right now. I love the stuff that everyone's doing here, and you know, we managed to you know, become a sort of a known entity out there.
Well, yeah, you guys are doing a great job because it's widely recognized as you know, one of the better breweries in the Northeast. I personally love their stuff. You talked a little bit about the sister company, Portsmouth Brewing. We just came from there, and it's a wonderful brew pub. They make really nice beer. What exactly is your relationship with them? You know, I saw some of your beers on tap there.
Yeah, well, it's owned by the same person, Peter Eggleston, and at one point, actually, Peter had me overseeing both breweries. And I had managed to bring Todd Mott in as the brewer down there. Todd is just a legend here in New England brewing circles, so he certainly didn't need my input. And at that point, I kept my raise and took, you know, gave in the responsibilities. But you know, it was great. You know, he came in to really kind of bring a different, you know, his own take on brewing, and really made that brewery stand out on its own as just a, you know, phenomenal brewery. But they sell some of our beers. They obviously promote our brewery, sell our T-shirts and things like that downtown. But you know, Todd Mott has his own brewery, his own, you know, recipes and the own work he does. So there is hopefully a fairly clear line between what he's doing and then what we're doing down there. But sometimes it does get confusing.
Now, one of the cool things, I will be hosting on September 17th a beer dinner at Aroma Time Bistro, and we will be doing Smuttynose beers. Now, Dave, do you have a favorite food and beer pairing that you make here? You know, it might not necessarily be your favorite beer or your favorite dish, but a pairing that actually just goes wonderful together. I'm sure there's so many choices, but is there one that sticks out in your head?
I mean, not necessarily. You know, we don't have a restaurant here, but I do a lot of beer dinners, and you know, some of them are just phenomenal. And I tend to like the pairings that I wouldn't have thought of, because there tends to be a lot of you know, I don't know, pot roast and old brown dog.
And brown dog and burgers, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so to me, it's the people that come up with something that I hadn't really thought of. But a lot of times, I really like what people do with, you know, the IPA, because the hoppiness is so different than wine. There is no correlation there, and so a lot of times chefs who, you know, let's face it, like a big malty beer would pair well with things that are, you know, nice red wine would. But for them to play around with the different ingredients that aren't necessarily in you know, other beverages that they would play with, and typically wine. I find those to be really interesting. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure I can give you something specific. Sorry about that.
We're gonna create a favorite at Aroma Time for you. You'll have a new favorite.
Okay.
So Dave, thanks for joining me on camera. We're gonna go take a tour. You guys don't get to see that though. You have to come here to take the tour. So we will see you next time on foaminghead.com. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.